Hi guys, well if you're watching this video then you already know what the 5-Day Week Straw People is. It's an album that was recorded in 1968 and I'm probably the only person alive that can tell you the truth about this album. Why would that be? Because I'm David Montague and my partner in making the album was Guy Mascolo. We made the album as a result of Guy. Let me explain first. Guy was Guy of Tony and Guy, and at the time he, like myself, was very young, and we made this album because Guy had given the demos of this album to one of his clients who worked for a record company, a small label called Saga Records, which was a budget record label and nothing that anyone would get excited about in 1968, I can assure you. Most of their, with greatest respect I say that, but most of their product was sort of classical or a bit of reggae, that sort of thing. So anyway, we handed this, or Guy, I should say, handed these demos to a client of his, and the next thing we knew, we were being invited by Saga to come and make an album, which was not only an enormous surprise, but quite exciting because it was called the 5-Day Week Straw People, and we never had a band. It was just Guy and myself on guitars. And for the most part, I was writing the lyrics, so that's how it started. So having been approached, what the next thing we needed was really a band. Guy had a friend across the road. This was Chelsham Road in Clapham North. Guy had a friend across the road, a guy called Mike Hawksworth, really, really nice guy. Who played bass. He said, well, let's go and talk to him and see if we can get him to join us on bass, which we did. We went across, met with him. He was a great character and really eager to help. So that was a good starting place. Then he said to us, well, I got this flat guy that shares the flat with him, a guy called John Ducan. Do you think we could ask him if he'd like to come and join in? So we said, great, anyone that's really keen to do it, let's have a look at it. So over about 2 or 3 weeks, we taught Guy, we taught Mike and John the songs and chords, etc., etc., everything that goes with it, a few riffs and da-da-da-da. So anyway, to progress a little further, when the date came that Saga had invited us to go and make this album, John said, oh, well, we could use our drummer, this John McCulloch, who incidentally turned out to be the brother of a guy called Jimmy McCulloch, who you may know from, he joined Wings. So we had now we had a guitarist, a bass player, and a drummer. So we wandered along to Saga, which was basically a basement in Marcel Rod's house. Now Marcel Rod owned Saga Records, who were then based in Kensal Rise over, well, gosh, look it up. Kensal Rise. It was over in North London. Anyway, we ended up in Swiss Cottage in his basement recording, which was a great experience, a big surprise to us and the other guys as well. They already knew the numbers, so it wasn't an issue. The only person we weren't sure was John or Jack, as he's sometimes known as, on drums, who actually was an absolute star. A wonderful character to work with, great sense of humour, great fun, and an excellent drummer. Full marks to that man. So we recorded the album, and basically it was in a day. It took a day to record, and the Guy and I went back later a day or so later to sort of edit and add a few little effects, which whether they were a good idea or a bad idea remains for people to judge for themselves. I think I might have done it a little differently if I was doing it again today. But anyway, it was of its era, and it was deemed by Saga to be worth putting out. Next thing is they wanted us to come along and have our photographs taken. That's Guy and David, and they suggested we go to a bomb site. I think they were just basically ripping off the idea of what the Beatles did with Love Me Do, or Please Please, one of their sleeves that they photographed next to a broken down car. We, however, because we were essentially interested in writing and producing, thought we'd like to be quite mysterious. So we ended up with our, coming up with Saga with some ideas for kind of a psychedelic, arty kind of cover, all very, So anyway, we did that, and again they were pleased with that. And the only place that our names appear on the record are Guy and David on the reverse of the sleeve, and on the labels, obviously Montague, Mascolo, all the numbers, everything down there. Anyway, the record went out. It was a huge success according to Saga, although, as was true of the day, the artist doesn't get very much out of this deal. And Guy and I were paid £75, which we split between the session men. On that was Mike Hawksworth, John Ducan, and Jack, or John, as however he likes to be known. I compliment them all on their contribution, because it was wonderful. I mean, nothing less than that. So you can imagine we were saddened when, unfortunately, well, I'd rather not name the person, but he was a guitarist who subsequently ripped us off enormously, putting out bootleg albums under his name that bore no relationship to actually the truth of how the album got made. Anyway, we move on from there. The album that we made was a success, and Saga wanted us to go back and to make another. Guy and I, by this time, we'd been approached, and we'd had a meeting with a company called Albemarle Beechwood, which was EMI Records, and or their publishing arm, or one of, at the time, and we had a meeting with them and subsequently published some songs through them. That's essentially how it all started, how it all took place. I've remained in the music industry ever since, working, apart from writing an enormous amount of songs and having recorded them, etc., etc. Guy, as you would have probably gleaned by now, Tony and Guy were quite successful, and they had their own business to attend to. I worked on the music on their first ever show, and subsequently up till 1977, I think it was. The last one I did fully was the music at Wembley Arena, which was a great show and everything good. After that, they got really big in their productions, and they needed full-time people just working flat out on their productions, basically, which then became touring. And obviously I attended them through sort of Dallas, Vegas, LA, but not really in a hands-on. I was just helping where I could, and it was a great exercise. What can I tell you more that might interest you? Best probably if you visit my pages that I have my Instagram pages and my Wix site, which will be up on screen at the end of this video, and you can glean a little more from from my activities, and indeed from Guy's activities, from that. So I hope you've enjoyed learning the truth of the 5 Day Week Straw people, and I hope you indeed enjoy listening to it. The only other genuine copy of what was on that album is one that we did with Cherry Red. We put it out again through Cherry Red, which is, if I can hold this still enough to see it, that was the album, and indeed that was if I can hold it still again, which I can't, that was the back, and it shows you the back. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll try and make better videos in the future, but at least now you know the truth of the 5 Day Week Straw people.
Too slow. places, making them older every day. Life goes by and time is wasted. It's so easy to let life slip by this way. Oh,